Hi guys, welcome to episode 3 of Brocanting Spots and Confit Pots with Honeysuckle and Roses, Lizzie and James.
Episode 3.
Episode 3, how did that happen? That was quick.
At the end of this, we're halfway through.
I know. Do you know what? It's really lovely though. I'm really enjoying it. Are you?
It's really good fun. Just to reminisce, talk about things, and it's good. It's good. It's still a bit weird having all these lights in the house because you turn every light off.
I know.
We have mood lighting, don't we, dear?
I know. And to have all these cameras, it just feels very professional.
It's very good. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about the leap to full time. That sounds very exciting, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like we're jumping off a cliff or something. So
it crumbs. So we started off quite small and we were bouncing along like that for a while, weren't we?
Yeah.
Like not just, you were still at work and then and we were doing it the brocants at the weekend in the summer, in the good months. And then something big happened. What happened in 2017, James?
Yeah, so in 2017, the company I was working for decided they were going to change the way that they did their funding and their models. I was working in the publishing division, and it was decided that the whole of the publishing division was going to close down, which left me with a choice. There were other positions that were being created, but we went through consultation period, and there was an offer on the table to take redundancy. So we sat down. We talked.
It was so scary, wasn't it?
It was a very, very big decision.
Because we'd moved to Milton Keynes, near Milton Keynes, a little village outside, just for this job.
Yeah.
So to then have to make this decision,
3 years down the line,
what to do.
Yeah.
Like you were convinced that this role wasn't going to be for you.
I think the role that had been put together, I think the guys had done their best, but it didn't seem like it was going to work for me. I think, I'd have just ended up just not enjoying it.
Yeah.
And there was a very, very generous offer on the table.
Yeah. It was difficult because I remember we were weighing it up. We were thinking, okay, so we have this little business, but it is still fairly little. It's making good money. And we were kind of excited as to where it was going. But we would never at that point have gone, right, let's quit the job, let's secure income and let's go it alone. Like we would never have done that.
I think it's interesting, isn't it? Because we've talked in previous episodes about things that happen in life.
Yeah.
Which, kind of the sliding doors moments.
Yeah.
Like that film with Gwyneth Paltrow, you get there and she's missed the train on one and it goes one way, and then she gets on the train another and it goes another way.
Yeah.
You have that choice, and I had to make that choice, and it was a very, very grown-up choice to have to make.
Yeah.
But it was almost half a year's wages that I was being offered.
Yeah.
So we came to the conclusion that we could pay the bills for 6 months. Let's give it a try.
Yeah.
Worst case scenario, I could always go back and find another job, whether that be in retail or sales somewhere. And you could continue to do that.
Yeah.
But it gave us a cash injection, which then, I would say, opened up options.
Yeah. It took the pressure off a little bit. I think in a weird way, we were in a scary position, but actually we had some money to take some risks. Really.
Yeah, absolutely.
It did give us that option of going, do you know what?
Let's go for this.
Let's go for it.
And we'd bought a van probably 6 months, probably at the beginning of 2017, we bought a van.
So
to call it a van.
Yeah, it's stretching it. You could see daylight from the floor to the ceiling. It was, if you think of Flintstones, it's kind of a little bit like that. Just imagine our feet underneath hitting the tarmac. It felt a little bit like that at times.
But we didn't know at the time because we were young and naive.
We were told that the guy at the garage said, "Yeah, you can see daylight. It's time to get rid of it." But it did the job, and we had it at that point. It was an old van, so we knew we were limited with it, and we didn't want to take it too far. But it did the job. It got us started.
And when we started to kind of go out to different places in France. It just gave us that option and the opportunity to go buy more, and we're still pre-Brexit at this point. So
Can I tell the story about the van on the train?
when you say, can you tell the story?
I'll tell the story.
I think you're going to tell the
I'll
story.
tell the story. So this van of ours, we got on the train, and it's usually about 5 o'clock in the morning. We're really tired. Kind of not a lot of people on the train, so it was just us and maybe a few others. Usually fishing vans, and so funny. James said, I'm so tired. I'm going to go and sleep in the back. So he slept on the blankets in the back, shut the door. And we approached Calais, and the guy on the loudspeaker came on and said, please return to your vehicles. We are approaching Calais. We will be arriving soon. And James went for the door. The door didn't open. And he went, Liz, can't open the door. Can't open it. Liz, can you help me? So I get out and I'm like, I tried to open it. Wouldn't open. And I said, James, I can't open it. It won't open. He said, it's not funny. Open the door. He was so cross. I can't open it, James. It was like it was stuck. Like a locking mechanism had stuck. And we were like, the train was slowing down.
I was starting to panic. You
were really, I was thinking, you were getting stressed.
I was thinking if I was in the back and we drove out and we got stopped by the police, it looked like you were trying to smuggle me into France or something.
But it was hilarious. The train slowed down into the terminal, still couldn't get the door open. And I had visions of rolling off the train with James in the back of the van rolling about. So eventually the train stopped and suddenly something clicked on the lock and and the door slid open and there was a very red-faced James. And he was just, that wasn't funny. I said, James, honestly, I couldn't open the door, honestly.
And what we found out was that old Ford Transits have a security feature where the back doors actually automatically lock when the vehicle is moving.
Yeah.
But we didn't know that. And obviously the vehicle wasn't moving, but the train was moving. So therefore the van thought the vehicle was moving.
That was funny.
I learnt my lesson.
You left the door ajar, didn't you?
From then on, I put a small piece of wood or a blanket just to make sure.
Oh, that was so funny. That is just hilarious.
And there's all kinds of stories like that. But
anyway, going back to, we made this decision, didn't we, that you took redundancy?
Absolutely.
And we were like, right, we need to level up now. We need to, we need to give this
And we actually
everything
decided to level up rather than kind of what we hear from politicians when they talk about leveling up. You know?
No, we needed this to work. So we decided to start looking at bigger fairs. An example of that we started doing was Kempton, which is a well-known London fair with a long tradition. It's an amazing fair run by
since the 1980s, isn't it?
Yeah, run by
Ed and Jenny, and they're fantastic. So big shout out to Sunbury Antiques.
Yeah,
it happens twice a month, second and last Tuesday.
It's an early start. And it's one that we did regularly for quite a while. And it's all done in the space of a morning. So you rock up during the night, you get your space about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then at 6:30, you have to unpack, and you have to unpack quick, don't you? Like no one is allowed to unpack before. It has to be at certain times, 6:30.
To make it fair for everybody else, to make sure that there's no kind of early buying, which is the right way to be.
It's right. And then everyone comes in at 6:30 to buy, and you have to be ready. So it's a mission to get your van unpacked. So that was one of the fairs that we did, the London Fair. We also looked at our buying in France, didn't we, James? How did that look?
Yeah, I think that, as we said, having a little bit of finance in there and almost like a bit of a security blanket, it allowed us to then just look at different areas. Because Liz had been saying, we need to go further, we need to go further, we need to go further. She's always saying that.
Always saying that.
But it was always a financial decision that, I'm working full time. We'd go over sometimes we'd have like £500 for the whole weekend.
Yeah.
And that was to include
those were the first few
and that was to include the
trips.
Hotel and all the diesel, and we still come back with a van, a carload. But you can't then drive down on the toll roads, and you can't then put in a full tank of diesel. And
so to give you an idea, our toll bills can be £400-500 on a trip. On maybe 1 or 2 trips.
Yeah.
So we get our bill and it could be £400-500 for our tolls alone. So that gives you an idea of the expenses involved.
Which is a lovely surprise. When
Yeah.
that comes in every month.
It has its advantages, paying as you go, not having the tag, but the tag takes away quite a lot of stress too.
But I think it just allowed us, as we say, going back to it, just allowed us to go to different places,
Yeah.
explore different parts of France and Belgium,
Yeah.
because we do go to Belgium occasionally, and it just opened things up. We went down further into the Champagne region. We drove down past there. We drove all the way down to Provence for the first time.
Yeah.
You know, not in our Chuggaboom van, to be
No,
fair, because that
no.
wouldn't have got there.
But the Loire Valley,
Absolutely.
you know, around Paris, you know, those sort of areas, the van was okay.
Yeah, anything that was kind of 3 hours-ish,
Yeah.
we were kind of happy with.
Yeah.
And yeah, we found different fairs, and we touched on this earlier, that you find different things in different places. So regional variants you will find. So we've just come back. We've been down shopping in the
On the Swiss border.
On the Swiss border, up not far from Mont Blanc and Chamonix.
Yeah, that was really odd when you start seeing signposts to Mont Blanc, and also Geneva, Milan, like all of those signs. It's very weird. But that was a lovely trip, right in the mountains of Brocanting, a market right in the mountains. We picked up. It was really weird because the things that we picked up there were wooden bits, didn't we? So there were things that we don't tend to find perhaps elsewhere, but wooden cheese molds, like beautiful, like almost barrels, but shorter. But in other areas, there's another area that we go to frequently where we like to find pottery. Now, hand-thrown pottery is something, again, that I like to keep an eye open for. We have a few customers who we source these pots for, and they're just so beautiful. I have a selection on the table here. Here's one. And you'll see these often in magazines, actually, on Instagram, on Pinterest. They make such a lovely centerpiece on a table. There's just something really natural and lovely about pottery, especially I like in the winter months.
It's very tactile, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know? And no two pieces are the same because they're hand thrown. You know, sometimes you'll have where the person has pressed their hand in too far.
Yes.
As they've,
so like little dents in the side, just really lovely.
And they'll have different slip glazing. Some of them will have crazing on different colours. Some of them will have big kind of stripes down the side. You know,
or drips. Like it's all,
and that's all part of the charm.
Yeah, and they just look so good. With the autumnal tones, just so nice, lovely with dry flowers. You know, dried seed heads, just beautiful. Alliums, dried out, looks so nice in there. So we will have some of these available on the website. We'll make sure we put them up for you guys to have a look. It's something that we sell quite regularly at the fairs as well, so you can always come and find us out on the stands at the fairs and buy a few from us there. But yeah, there's something really stylish about them. You can really style them out in a home.
And they fit anywhere as well.
Yeah, they do.
You know?
I think the natural colours help with that. You can just pop them anywhere in the home easily.
So kind of changing tack a bit. Now, this question is one that we are asked a lot. And we've kind of touched on it in episode 1, but we get asked a lot, do you have a family? Because obviously on Instagram, they don't see me very often.
No.
They see you a lot doing your lives and chatting to the camera.
Yeah.
I'm allowed on occasionally, but I think, as Wogan once said, I feel like I have a face for radio. But so do you want to answer
it's a
that
question that we get asked a lot. And I guess it's because we are seen to be going out to France sometimes every week. It has been known twice a week, but sometimes every week in the high season we're out in France. And people see it and I think, wow, how do you manage that with a family? Well, we touched on this on episode 1 that, we've went through IVF. We've been through a few sessions of IVF. And unfortunately, we haven't got children. And that's something that it's sad for us.
Yeah.
But, we've made this our business. It's what we love to do. And we've thrown everything into it. And it's become a bit of a passion. So we don't have children, but we do have 3 cats and a dog.
Yeah, they appear on social media quite a lot. Well, 2 of them do, don't they?
Yeah. So Charlie is our ginger cat. We've had him since he was a kitten.
Yep.
So that was 17, 18 years ago. So he's an
I know,
old
it's scary,
boy.
isn't it?
He's an old boy, and he is my cat. And he will come and sit on my lap. He will curl up on my lap. He loves to have cuddles with me. And I love him dearly. He is just lovely. He's got such a lovely, soft nature to him. James has 2 other cats. They are his cats.
I love the fact that James has 2 cats. So, we just need a little background into this. When we moved to Eastbourne, we had a cat, Charlie. This is 2010. We've been married for 5 years, moved to Eastbourne, and in every week, can we have a dog? No, we can't have a dog. We live in a flat. Can we have a dog? No, we can't have a dog. We live in a flat.
I really wanted
Can we have a dog? No, we can't. We live in a flat. So we moved to Eastbourne. Can we have a dog? And we lived in a house at that point. So I couldn't use the no, we can't.
Yeah,
we live in a flat.
Megan came after Charlie, but in Eastbourne. So Megan was a puppy, border collie. She's just a beautiful dog.
She's lovely.
Again, she's quite an elderly girl now.
Yeah.
But after we had Megan, quite shortly afterwards, we ended up getting. Oh, no, actually, it was a few years later. We got Smudge and Lola.
No, it wasn't a few years later.
No?
It wasn't. It was about 3 months later.
Oh, really?
Because we got a second cat.
Wow.
Because you wanted a kitten.
Okay.
Because we had a dog, so therefore you decided we need another kitten.
So I know. I think it's that
maternal.
I think it's that maternal part of me that just wants to show love.
And I think this was before we'd gone through the round of IVF.
Yeah.
And, so we went and we got a kitten.
Yeah.
And in that
was
litter,
that Smudge?
That was Smudge.
Smudge is black and white and has a little smudge on the end of her nose, which is
hence the name.
And she was very friendly to begin with.
My mum was a childminder, and we allowed the children to name her.
Yes, so she was named Smudge.
And but there were 2 other kittens in the same litter, which we ended up with.
Yeah,
also,
well, one was
because you felt sorry for them, didn't you?
Sooty was black and went to my dad, and then Lola, who is Tabby.
Yeah, she's a
tortoiseshell.
She's a tortoiseshell.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She, they stay together. So Smudge and Lola became ours, but not ours. James's. So they are James's. They sit. James will often sit on the chair and have one cat on each knee. And they won't come near me at all.
Imagine
never.
having pets called Charlie and Lola. Who would have thought it?
I know.
Who made that one up?
They are our family, and we love them. And
absolutely.
They're great. But life throws curveballs, and really, I think we have made it so that our business is what we do. That's our focus, really. We love it, and it brings us joy. And to be honest, going over to France is a bit of distraction.
Absolutely.
So, of course, there is always going to be that pain there that we haven't got kids, but we are able to, at the drop of a hat, to go to France and do what we do. And not have to make too many arrangements or plans,
I have to say, I take my hat off to other dealers that we know.
And there are lots out there
who have children, who do this with kids. We salute you.
Yeah.
Because we think you're amazing.
Because we are knackered. We are so tired doing
we're
what
exhausted.
we do.
And I don't know how we'd do it if we had kids.
Yeah.
I think it'd look very differently.
Yeah.
But, you know who you are. We've spoken to you about this, and we just take our hats off to you. Because
really good.
We think you're amazing.
Yeah.
So before we get too emotional, I think we need to not go too much further down that route.
Yeah.
2018, things really changed.
Again, it was a big stepping stone for us. It was a big change, but it really pushed things into a good place.
And I think when we started to go further afield, we started to meet different people, and then we started to connect and form relationships and friendships with dealers in France.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stuff that we do now, we go direct to our friends as they are now.
Yeah.
And we've known these guys 6, 7, 8 years, some of them, and we go direct and we pick up a haul of this and a haul of that. We'll go and buy 100 brown
pieces
pots.
of pottery.
We'll go and pick up 25 champagne crates. We'll go and pick up a load of baskets, because these guys are always, my WhatsApp goes crazy.
I know.
Here's some more pictures. I think they just want to take my money. That's generally how it is.
I think they see you and they see pound signs, but they're lovely, and we're lucky to have those people in our lives, and
very much so.
We are grateful.
Very much so, and I think that as well, we've done that ourselves in working with people, dealing direct with shops, with other traders, and I think that makes a difference.
Yeah.
Because there are lots and lots of ways that we can sell what we do. However, when you form friendship and relationship, there's a truism in life. One of the things that someone said to me is this: anyone can sell something to anyone else, but people buy from people.
Yeah.
And if they like you,
they'll
buy from you. You might be £5 more expensive than the person down the road, but if they like you and they have a relationship with you, they'll buy from you.
Yeah.
And that's what we've found.
I think one of the things for us going out into France and just going to all these beautiful places, being able to jump in the van and drive 8 hours into France and experience new places, new beautiful villages, new towns. It's just, I love that. How many times do we drive through sunflower fields and think, I can't believe it, it's Wednesday and we're driving through a sunflower field?
And that's our office.
Yeah, and it's our office, or through the mountains, and
it's really...
and through a village with beautiful shutters on the front of the buildings, and we're just like, wow, I should be in an office justifying my time to pop to the loo, but no, I am in France, driving through France with the sunshine, and I love that. That is amazing.
There is that massive freedom, isn't there?
Yeah.
Of working
for yourself,
not having to answer to anyone else.
Yeah.
Apart from I have to answer to you.
Yeah, of course.
That's how it works.
Always.
But yeah, and there's not that person saying to you, you have to be here at this time to do this, to do that.
Yeah.
And that's incredibly liberating. And I think that's one of the reasons why it still feels so enjoyable. Now, there are lots of pinch me moments, aren't there?
It's funny because the best thing for me is being in France. The best thing for James is definitely selling. He is a salesman. People who know James will know this. He is an amazing salesman, and that's what you love to do. So on stands, selling to people privately. We do a lot of work with other dealers behind the scenes privately, and James is always the main man doing it. I
think I just love people.
Yeah.
I think
you're an extrovert. I'm an introvert. That is definitely how it is.
I think there's something in the fact that I just love people. I find people absolutely fascinating and really interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not so interested in stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But I love people. And I just think that, everybody's got a story.
Yeah.
Everybody comes from somewhere, and I love to find that common ground and just chat. I love to just chat with people. And I think that goes a long way when you're forming friendships, relationships. And I think it feels just amazing.
Yeah.
That from kind of a holiday
that
we were given by friends, Tom and Rachel, we're going to give you another shout out because you're amazing.
You're doing well here, Tom and Rachel.
We'll talk about our commission on the bookings.
Yeah.
But from a holiday that we were given, a business has formed.
Created
from
a business.
Small acorn.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how big the oak tree is at the moment.
No. We're getting there.
But who'd have thought?
Yeah.
We'd have been doing this when we met in 2003.
I know. I was nursing. I was
working in retail.
Yeah.
We'd have never thought.
No.
And actually, I think if you'd have said you'd have quit your jobs or you'd have been made redundant, you'd have stepped out of nursing. I'd have stepped away from this. I'd have asked people whether they were mad.
Well, I think for us, the main thing really is that sometimes it takes big catastrophic things to happen in your life to change direction. And for us, it has. And we are where we are.
But I think when those things happen, you have a choice.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, and what happened in 2012 with the miscarriage was devastating.
Yeah.
And it's there are still days. There are
Yeah.
still days now.
Yeah.
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 We are 12 years later and there are still days
Yeah.
where it hurts like hell.
Yeah.
But there are more better days than there are those days. And I think, as men, we don't talk about this very much. So,
No.
I think it's good that as a man, I can share this. But without that happening, we wouldn't be where we are now. So you just have to go,
yeah.
What does it look like? How do I react to that?
Yeah.
And we have a choice.
Yeah.
And they're difficult choices.
Yeah.
But it's one step at a time.
And scary choices.
Absolutely. But, I think, I'm not sure if we went back, you look at it and go, how we get to where we are. I'm not sure we'd think that the path would go this way.
No.
But it is.
Yeah.
And we enjoy it. And I think that, again, one of the things that is really, really important when you're doing this, if you're going out and you want to buy and
just to have fun,
just enjoy it.
But I think that's probably a good place to round this episode up. We'll elaborate more on a lot of this as we move forward. But we hope you guys have enjoyed that episode.
Absolutely. And again, we just want to say thank you so much for everybody who's watching. We're seeing the numbers. And we are absolutely blown away.
And the cups of coffee are just amazing. That's lovely. Yeah. Thank you so much, guys. We appreciate all of those.
It almost feels like we're in Starbucks or Costa and people are buying us coffee.
Yeah,
really. So,
thank you.
If you feel able to do that, I'm going to look at the camera and say this. If you're able to do that, please feel free to donate. It'd be great. And thank you so much for all the people that have already.
Yeah.
We're going to leave it here.
Yeah.
And we'll see you in episode 4. Take care.